a broadsword penetrate a shield? You know, all this. He does all these weird and tanks. He loves his tanks. And
well, we're live, so
good historical stuff if you're into it. Sorry, I've done a Tony there, haven't I? Everybody's looking a bit. Shut up.
Just can't get you to shut up today, can we?
No, we want to be. Sorry,
man. Just in our introduction, you've been just rambling on.
I know. Are we live?
Holy
yeah.
Crap! Have you been in the sauce a little early today, or what?
No. I've just poured my first one. I never come on. Never do that until we come on.
You've had a couple sauces so far.
Hex is on. Hex is on. Hey.
Hi. I didn't realize we were live. Good job. I might have said a rude word, but anyway, that's.
I said that, and you were still babbling.
I was babbling when I was babbling. Sorry.
Wow.
Hi, Hex. Oh, dear.
Good to see you, my friend. Hope all is well with you. There's is here, and Richard is here.
Richard.
So we're just getting everyone lined up and ready to go here. We might have a special guest joining us, just so you know.
And we don't know who it is. You've kept that.
You don't, because I didn't tell you.
No, you didn't. It's not my mother, is it? Don't get.
I believe it's your wife coming on. So.
Oh no.
We're going to talk tables.
Hoovering.
Yeah. Did you get that house cleaned up before she got home from last week? It was Monday. It was just me and you that were talking. Yeah, it was Monday.
Yeah.
What does that shirt say, Tony?
It says, "May all your holidays be scarlet and gray."
Oh, wow, that's cool. My wife would love that. Yeah. Well, there's Hethwell. Been playing some Cutthroat Dragon with my daughter all week.
You know that
games.
You know that game, Jester?
No,
I've not heard of it, but it's got two great words in it, so it's got my thumbs up. Cutthroat and Dungeon.
Yeah. We love our dungeon games.
Yeah, but he's saying that he had to house rule it already, like really heavily. Is that because you're playing with your daughters or because it's bad?
Yeah.
Otherwise, his daughter would win too easily. That's what he's had to do. He said, "Make it hard for his daughter to win."
If you ever saw him play, you'd know that's a fact.
Yeah.
Jesus, he can't even win when he's playing solitaire.
Oh, wait, don't bring up the R word, whatever you do, because we can't win when we play. You know, I was going to say play with ourselves, but that sounds a bit rude. Play solitaire games.
More talent. Okay.
Character progression, more challenge. You must score more than companions. Must all agree. Get out live. Yeah. That's a good game. There's another one very similar to that out that I'm thinking about getting. So we'll have to see.
We've had a dearth of war games from you, Jester.
You have what?
We haven't seen many war games from you lately.
Yeah, just swinging left, swinging right. You know, whatever fancy, whatever float my boat. Kind of in a.
I wasn't happy with the baseball game.
Yeah, I did a couple.
Yeah. If you like baseball and understand it, I've got no chance.
I hated that game. Just hated it because my Tigers lost. So
yeah, Tony came and watched, had a good time.
Or was it another 3 o'clock in the morning thing? I'll get up specially next time.
No, it was in the evening for us, so it would have been I guess it would have been 3 o'clock your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was taking a break from my SPQR work.
Yeah.
So
you get burned out, I tell you. I don't know. You get burned down after a while, so I just wanted something. Just been kind of just playing this, playing that, just trying different things.
That's why I threw Nemo's War on. I've got Dawn of the Zeds up. I have the 3rd edition, so I'm playing that. I played the basic game just to remember how it plays, but I'm going to start going through the level progression on that because you can go level harder. And so I'm going to film that because that's just dice chucking and hoping you kill some zombies.
Right.
So what do I do? Do I play one? Do I, play a non-war game?
Speaking of which,
well, yes, it's very posh now, isn't it?
Private Public, how you doing? Good to see you. Paul Burns, good to see you guys.
Hi, guys.
Mad Dog, what's going on, guys? Hey, so just thought I would let everyone know in case they missed out on the announcement this week. Lock and Load Publishing has updated their website just in time for their holiday sale.
Yeah, again, doesn't do us over this part of the world any good, I'm afraid. Which is a shame. There's some great prices.
If you're interested, be sure to go to the Lock and Load Publishing website. They got some really good deals going on right now. Time to pick up that stuff that you missed out on Christmas time. This is one that really looks interesting for me. Atlantic Storm.
A card game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a card game. But that looks pretty interesting. So I might have to pick that one up. White Star Rising. Of course, Heroes of Normandy.
Well, you can't get that.
Lock and Load Christmas sale. So anyways, just thought I would bring that to everyone's attention in case you are out of the loop, like a lot of people out here.
Including me.
Including you.
Including me, yes. I'm well out the loop.
So, yeah, we got a lot to catch up on since it's been like forever and a day since we actually got to talk about things.
You keep inviting people on.
I know. I do. Yeah.
It's great. RD last week, that was great. Popping it. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, we got a package delivery here. So we have to have the package unboxing.
I'll show you what I got this week.
So this is one of my many Kickstarters I got. I think I got this one. Oh, yeah, this one I got to play with my son. The late Tiny Epic Dinosaurs.
Tiny Epic Dinosaurs.
They're great little game. I've got Tiny Epic Galaxies, and I might do one of them. It's not a war game.
I have the Tiny Epic Westerns, Tiny Epic Quest, the Quest one, which is really fun. And like this one, it's dinosaur ranching. So they play great solo, but you actually like ranch dinosaurs and stuff. So got this today.
Yeah, I'll have to play some and upset people. You'd be getting funny emails and comments, Jester, about you doing your sports stuff again and your fantasy stuff.
No.
You've got a pretty tight fan base, haven't you, that don't mind what you do. They know what you do and accept.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, like I said, when I stopped doing sports, a lot of people that were watching my sports stuff were like, hey, we love war games too. And so, I think if you play games in general, it doesn't really matter what they're playing as long as you're having a good time watching them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, early days for me. I got this today.
Marine 2002.
Yeah, from
talked about that last week.
1979 from the Yaquinto games. Actually, it looks pretty good. Very involved rules. It's one of those games that have the basic rules and then a bit more and then the advanced rules. But it's unpunched and it looks actually quite good.
Cut the counters?
Huh?
Do you have to cut the counters?
Yeah, they're so thick. I won't be able to get them in the counter clipper. They must be getting on for an 1/8 of an inch thick.
Ooh.
Well, maybe I exaggerate, but they won't go in the clips.
So give us a synopsis of what this game is like.
Well, I'm going to do an unboxing of it, but it's the first sort of lunar war, I mean, in '79, 2002 looked well, it was a long way away, and it's tactical level as well. A combat on the surface or near the surface, because you can fly in this as well, on the moon. Futuristic weapons, neutron warheads, rocket shells, lasers, charged particle beams. Sounds good, doesn't it? One of those.
Tactical combat on the moon on 2002. Wow.
Yeah. But you've got to just
lay off on that or what?
No, it's just yeah. You just got to put yourself in an alternative universe, haven't you? And that could have happened somewhere else in 2002. It's got geomorphic maps where you can sort of move them about, and they've got push-out craters and other obstacles that you can place. So it's going to have a lot of replayability, I think. But yeah, I won't. Don't knock it yet. It looks quite good. And the other one
I think it sounds
great. Sounds very retro, very sort of quiche. Well, no, not quiche. No, what's the word? Can't remember. For things that are very retro and in vogue. So it's and the other thing I got was that.
Ooh, the Creative War.
Nice.
One of the classic games from Victory Games. So I'm pleased about that. This was partially punched, but I had to punch it before I did anything because it's all color coded. So I had to make sure, look on the sprue and get all the color, all the countries. Me being colorblind, of course. So that looks cracking as well. So I've gone a bit 80. I love the 80s games.
I was going to say you have gone like big time retro.
Yeah, love them.
So
and I've got my Sixth Fleet. I've got me Tokyo Express, and I said I was going to put together a copy of Carrier, and I was going to get a map printed. That turned up.
Wow, the postman's been delivering at your house. Woo.
So I've got the map now.
Wow.
Look at that.
Nice.
That on a bit of plexi. All I'm going to do now is make 700 counters.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, that'll take me a while. All the handouts are printed. So I'm not sure about the legality of it. But Vassal, they do it on Vassal, don't they? So... which is where I got the counters off of the Vassal module, because they're a bit better than the original ones. So yeah, that's my my stuff. Yeah,
so I'm busy getting some stuff, but all this is old stuff you could have had 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40.
Well, I knew it was about, but I wasn't into war games 30 years ago. I was D&D and fantasies and dungeons and all that sort of stuff. So I knew about this, saw it about, but it just, even though I was interested in the history of the Second World War and military history in general, just didn't think to play war games. I was playing, say, D&D and all that sort of stuff. Yes, I've got the tables. I've just got to find some room now to put one up. One's going down the end here, and it's got to go down because this table here I'm using, and it's got Tokyo Express on it at the moment. I've got to clear for Crimble. So once that's clear, I've got to have somewhere up. So I have to make room down there and put the table up. So I've got the two tables, but one will go up for the new year, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Hey!
So, yeah, a little bit disappointing because when I talked to you on Monday, you said you were going to have your Christmas tree up there in the background. What happened with that?
She's moved it right in the corner.
Who?
On the little lead. I can't move it about. We're going to have it next week. Mind you, it'll be Christmas. We'll be over, won't it? Yeah, no, maybe next year. I was going to have me Crimble.
Why do we keep him around? Tony, what? I mean,
I don't know.
You were supposed to come in and replace him. Why is he even here? We haven't figured that out.
I'm being eased out gently. He feels for me. That's the thing. I'm being eased out gently.
I guess we do need our retro gamer here, so.
But it's not just retro games. I want to be playing the Lock and Load Tactical for next year. I've got GTS to play. I've got Operation Dauntless to have a look at, maybe. Loads of stuff. Silent Victory I haven't touched yet. I've got to do the live things. Fingers crossed for what I get. No, fingers crossed for Christmas Day.
We started the challenge in September.
Yeah, I didn't. Tony did.
And Tony got his 6 patrols in within a week.
He's a girly swap. We all know this.
What? I don't know what you just said.
I try, and I'm not being any. There's nothing against the girls. It's just a term that means someone that is, yeah. I've said it now, and I have to put my foot in it now. Anyway, the letters will start coming in now. But as I said, the phone is going to be the first one I did. It was all jerky thingy. So as I said, Christmas Day, I'm hoping to get something that will rectify that. So early in the new year, I can get cracking back on with it as well.
We've already moved on to the next challenge.
No, you can't. You can't
assume your boat sunk.
No, you didn't finish.
It ended up in dry dock because you don't use it, so it just sits there in dry dock.
What? Use it or lose it?
Yeah. Use it or lose it.
Thank you, Kabuki Kid. No offense, Kid was anyway, you know what I meant. But he is. No, he is.
So, who was it that suggested we have? Was it Ruff?
Don't blame me.
We have our end of the season review of our top 5 games that we play.
I just thought it'd be a nice thing to do for all the games we played online. What not necessarily in any order. They can be just your top 5. Don't put them first, second, first, because that's more stress, isn't it? So, what would have been the top 5 that you've enjoyed over this year?
All right, we'll schedule that for next week.
Okay.
If you can make it away from Boxing Day long enough to join us for a couple hours.
Yeah, Boxing Day. You want to one on Boxing? Okay, no, that's fine because everybody's drunk anyway, and they can't eat another thing, and there's rubbish on the telly, and it'd be good. Be good. It's gone quiet.
Might be interesting because he may be sauced by the time he comes in. So
then you've got problems.
He might be pissed by that point.
Yeah, I may well be.
It could be very entertaining.
That will be. No, I'll try and be a good boy, and I'll have a drink with you when I'm on the stream. But yeah, it looks like I drink all the time. This is the only time I have a drink is when I come on here and have a glass of wines with you.
This gives me and Tony a week to think about it.
Yeah, it gives you a bit of time to think about it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you do have our emails. You could have emailed this suggestion earlier.
I told you in the green room, I said a few minutes ago, I just had this idea. So how can I email it to you? It wasn't like I thought last week or a couple of days ago. Otherwise, I would have gone, hey, guys.
You wait till the last minute to think about these things. Why are you not thinking about these things ahead of time?
Well, it's because lots of things are going on in my head. And if I think of something, it pushes something else out. And I forget about it. So I have to, when I thought about it, I thought, quick, before it goes, I'll tell you guys in the green room, which I did.
Tony, when's school out?
Friday, yesterday.
Oh, so you got all week off.
I get the next 2 weeks off, yes.
So what's his gaming schedule look like?
Well, SPQR, Battle of Baggerdass Plains, Plains Battle.
Yes.
That's the one they actually recommend if you're not going to do the tutorial one, which I was like, I set that thing up and I'm like going, I have no idea if I did this right. So I'm really big on historical setups. I hate trying to set up things. So that's going to be over the next 2 weeks. I'm going to do Dawn of the Zeds.
You're talking about this?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm going to do Dawn of the Zeds.
Those people who didn't know what the hell he was talking about.
SPQR. I said SPQR.
I didn't hear you. Sorry. I didn't. Go
ahead. So, and then I just watched the Blue Tweezers, his playthrough of Skies Above the Reich. And
when he did it, yes, yeah.
I'm going to play that not this week, but next week. So
You've got
SP, I've got the Skies Above the Reich. Yeah. So I've got 2 weeks for SPQR, Dawn of the Zeds next week, and Skies Above the Reich the week after.
You got Skies Above the Reich, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Was that the first one?
Yeah, that was the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the other one, and I haven't pre-ordered. I want to play this one before I get into that one. Now, the Skies Above Britain
is Storm Above the Reich.
Yeah, that's right.
One.
Yeah.
I wanted Skies Above the Reich when I saw the blue tweezers. Thought, well, this looks good. Couldn't get it anywhere. Sold out.
Sure.
So I've had to put it on P500.
Oh, so you're up to about 42 P500s now?
It's a lot, yeah. But it's looking good. Second Chance Games have got Plan B ready. So hopefully, I don't know if it means I'll have to stop the P500s and order them directly so they can.
All right. So everyone needs to get on. Everyone that's watching right now, let's see this skyrocket. Skies Above the Reich, second printing, 232. Let's get you guys ordering it right now. Let's go.
Hex to Hex, it took you this long to order Time for Trumpets. I could have swore you would have ordered that like a long time ago.
See, if Hex to Hex is smart, he would have posted something in our little war room chat, because I've got a copy that I don't even want. So he could have probably got it for a better price than. He's buying it so he can sell it later. Yeah. That's why I got it.
Oh.
Skies Above the Reich, guys. Second printing. Let's get on it, because I believe this is one that I got pre-ordered. Yep, I got this one pre-ordered.
It looked fun. It looks like a lot of good choices. And it looks like it can screw you over pretty good, which for some reason I seem to like that with my solitaire games. I don't know.
It's another Jeremy White one, isn't it? Enemy Coast Ahead guy.
I think so.
Yeah.
So and I kind of want to see how Skies Above Britain, because that's a different. It's not not going after the bombers. You're going after the escorts.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of interested, mainly because I want to fly as a Spitfire. So a Spitfire. Love those. There's a. Oh, here we go, off on a tangent, but I'll try to make it short. On Netflix, there is a great documentary about the Spitfire, how it was developed. And you guys know I'm a teacher. Well, one of the programs I teach is an aviation mechanics program. So I actually played that video for them at the end of the holiday season. And we didn't get to finish it in class, but I had anybody that had Netflix said they went back home and watched it, because it was really, really good. I can't remember what it's called, but it's definitely worth this.
That's good. You can't remember. Not called the history.
Just honestly, type in Spitfire and it'll come up. I'm going to find it now because you said that.
For you guys just join us, don't forget Lock and Load Publishing has updated their website. And not only that, but they got the Christmas holiday sale upon us. So be sure to check out their new website, which I really like. It's pretty cool. Everything kind of links back and forth really nicely, and everything is really manageable. And of course, you get to see lots of nice pictures and images of the games. When you compare the Lock and Load website with other war game companies out there, it makes other war game companies look like, what the hell are they doing?
I spent a few bit on that night.
Yeah.
What's
Hex
that?
to Hex.
Yeah. Is it called Spitfire?
It's called Spitfire, the plane that saved the world. I knew there was a second part to it, but I couldn't remember. But it's the plane that saved the world. So, but it really goes into how it was developed, how the designer figured things out, and so it was really, really cool. So really worth a good watch. And if I remember right, they actually go in and talk to some of the female Spitfire pilots that were there.
Those are the girls flew them across into the squadrons. They took the factories and flew them. Yeah.
The pilots that they interviewed that flew them you could tell they just loved that plane. Like, I think they had a relationship with that plane, and they really, the way they talk about it is like how you talk about,
Yeah, and over here, when we used to have air shows during the summer, where I am, we sometimes get some of them flying either to the air show or coming away from it, and before you see it, a Spitfire. That's a Spitfire coming over. That engine, and that's just reminded me. My dad was so into this sort of stuff that he had not only an album of all the war movies themes, he had an LP of all the engines of the warplanes. So you put it on track number 2, and that would be the Spitfire, and then you'd have the Hurricane, and then you'd have the Focke-Wulf, and just one after. That's how crazy things are in the 70s. So yeah, always remember that he had this, but he had all the theme tunes for all the classic war films. So yeah, I
live at the airport. The airport I live by, where I also teach, has an Air National Guard that has F-16s. But every summer they have a air show, and every once in a while we'll have some the World War II aircraft coming in to get repaired, and I'll see B-17s flying over every once in a while.
Yeah,
and the one time I just looked up and it was a B-29. I was like, you have to look up because you never know what's going to fly in and out of our airport. So it's pretty sweet.
Yeah. And I rush out because you hear something, you think, what the heck's that? And it's something, it's a Chinook. What's that doing over my house? It's...
Well, like I said, they have the F-16s, but during one of the hurricanes, they actually had a couple F-15s fly up and just kind of hold them up here while the storm was coming through. And the building I am is kind of right along the flight line, and they soundproofed it so well that the only planes you can actually hear taking off are the F-16s, and even then, now it's white noise. But man, when those F-15s with the dual engines took off, it shook the entire building. Yeah, it was crazy.
I tell you what, talk about noise and jet fighters. I used to go to air shows. I love aircraft, and I love it all, don't I? But I used to go to air shows, and they used to always fly over you. This is in the days before, they stopped air shows and you have to fly sort of 3 miles away from people now. They flew over you. And the most scariest thing noise-wise that flew over me as a youngster was a starfighter. And, the one that was so hard to fly, evidently, it flew just because you wished it to, it shouldn't have flown the way it was designed. But this noise, and the other one was the, I've forgotten the name now, the lightning, fantastic noise. But they flew over you in days of yore, really low.
Yeah.
And another one, seeing the Spitfire, reminiscing, Biggin Hill, the famous Biggin Hill, my aunt and uncle lived right by the airfield, and they had an air show there every year. And what we used to do is stand on, they had a flat sort of patio roof to their house, quite posh, lots of ground. And you'd stand on the roof and watch the air show over the trees, yeah? And once one of them flew over me and my brother, and we were watching it, we're waving, and as it flew past, it did the old wing waggle.
Yeah, the waving, yeah.
Say, hi, guys. Fantastic. Once heard, never forgotten.
That last part after they pass you is just so memorable.
That's the old Doppler effect, isn't it? That's fantastic.
Yeah.
But anyways, so
days of playing Warfighter. Was it Warfighter? What the hell was it?
War Thunder?
War Thunder, yeah.
My students play
some
that.
really good sounding planes. Really good game.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, okay, we've all got Spitfires. Yeah. But I want to get another game. I want to get. I've got the RAF, and I want to get. Is it London's Burning, which is very hard to get hold of. Another game about the Blitz and about the Spitfire, trying to stop the bombers coming over.
London's Fire.
Huh?
Or London's Fire or London's Burning? Which
London's
one?
Burning, I think it's called.
Okay.
But it's like hen's teeth. You can't, it's like Carrier. You can't get hold of it. And if there is a copy going, it's going for daft money.
It's on the black market.
Yeah, that's why I'm printing my own combat. And yes, I will be clipping them, Hethwell.
Oh my God. Driving me crazy. Driving me crazy. So yeah.
Yeah, Kabuki Kid remembers. You're not that old, are you, Kabuki Kid? Crikey.
What about what do you guys know about Space Corps?
Space Corps.
Space Corps, yeah.
I originally had that on P500, but then I took it off. I don't know why, but I've heard good stuff about it.
It's a John Butterfield game.
Yeah.
And they got the expansion just at the printers, of course.
I think it's pronounced Space Corp because it's Space Corporation rather than a corps in an army sense.
Space Corp?
Yeah, corporation. It's like that should give you an idea. Not that I've played it and know much about it, but that should give you an idea of what.
Supposed to have Great Solitaire.
Yeah.
Anybody play it?
No, it's on my list, but it's quite a way down. The same with Space Empire 4X or 4X Space Empires. That's on my list, but it's again pretty low down. But they look good games.
Yeah, I was looking at it earlier. I'm thinking about picking up get the expansion, but I'm like, well, if I get the expansion, I need the original game first.
I think you can still pick that up pretty easily, can't you?
I was looking around. There are a few copies, but not. I mean, most of the game stores that I go to don't have a copy, but there is one. So I thought about maybe picking it up. OG says the Space Corp is good fun, played it a handful of times.
Yeah, yeah.
And Jezza says didn't like it. It was too generic.
He says try Stellar Horizons instead.
Kabuki Kid said he's got it but hadn't played it yet. And he loves Space Empires as well.
Talon, that's sort of...
it's a pretty light game deck building, says Terrence.
Oh, that's right up your alley, Jester.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Look, I love it.
He loves his card games.
I'm not saying that in a negative sense there. I'm just saying, that's the truth. It's like you like those deck builders, which I do too. I'm not saying I don't.
Ed Sources, you like them, that's fine by me. Until I get convinced otherwise.
I'm going to get drowned in my games here.
Yeah, it's cool. But can't wait. I can't wait to try this.
We got like 4 things before that.
I know. This is why I know it's crazy. Too many games.
You know what would help?
Huh?
More than one video a week, I think would help. Pretty sure.
I know. It's time and editing, and who knows? Once I get this, if I get this thing from Father Christmas, then I might do some live streams and bore people even more. But once I get this camera, I want to get this blooming Hunters going because I can't have Tony finishing, and you're ahead of me as well, Jester. So
I'm way ahead of you.
I know. It's just.
I mean, I sank the Royal Oak. Has been sunk for like. It's already like just. It's now turned to ash. It's been sunk for so long.
All right. I hear what you're saying, and I get moaned at by some of my comments nicely, not having it, saying when you're going to do it. I'm going to do it. Don't worry, but I want to make sure I'm not like stop motion.
Well,
Well,
I'll tell you
a
what,
lot of-
Ruff. Every time you don't put the video up, I'm going to go in and be the first one to thumbs down your videos.
You did that before, you git, and
I didn't actually thumbs down it. I just said I was going to.
yeah, but you do it to Kevin's as well.
We know when you're going live, we will make sure we're there to
And we'll
throw
help
you
you
off
out.
your game. That's
Oh.
for sure.
Great. Yeah, I do need you there because I'm not going to get as flustered next. I was a bit flustered my first live stream. I was very flustered forgetting things, and you're screaming at the monitor, and I can't hear you, of course, you do. And 10 minutes later, I see the comment. I go, oh, right. So I'm going to be a bit more laid back this time and just take it easy. And
Slow it down. Don't try to rush it.
Yeah. I learned a lot from that.
Okay, Hex to Hex. I already said I was playing SPQR. I'm going to play the Skies Above the Reichs and a little bit of fun with Dawn of the Zeds. I have decided, though, that any of like the World War II games, I'm going to look at the scenarios. I probably won't play campaigns, but I did make a comment to Hex to Hex, and I want to do this. I ordered the hard-mounted map for Normandy 44, and this June, I'm going to play it on the day that the turn of the day. So Normandy 44. So June 6th will be yes. Yep.
I didn't order it because you would still get it.
What you're saying, Tony, is you weren't smart enough to pre-order it.
I still got it for $14.
That's not bad.
I got it for $14.
But you weren't smart enough to pre-order it.
No, because I didn't think about it. You know why I thought about it all of a sudden? Because freaking Hex to Hex and Nathan has been doing the freaking Ardennes, which I have that one. And I was like, man, you guys make me want to get it out. I know, it's beautiful. But I want to play it on the board so I don't have a freaking plexi over top of it with, me having to figure out how to adjust for the light and everything that.
Mounted
board. The board, I don't have to worry about that.
Mounted boards are great for videoing. They're the next series on my list, I think, the 194X series.
Counterattack just put up a new set.
So they're all going to be done, and then I'll do mine sort of eventually, and they go there. They're on my list.
What I love about Counterattack is you can actually learn the game as he plays. He's really good about explaining kind of the rules and stuff like that, everything. So Hex to Hex struggling with enjoying the Ardennes 44.
Why is that? Rules or gameplay, Hex?
Why do you think he's struggling with it? It's
a
war game. He doesn't know how to do it.
It's hexes.
If it's not bayonets and muskets, he doesn't know what the hell to do.
Oh, you do like a bit of ACW, American Civil War. See, I know all the acronyms, so don't you worry.
That's why he's having problems. He's like,
FN.
damn, what are these things? They're like pointy stick type things. I don't know what they are. They didn't have these back in the good old Civil War top days.
I'm glad you've taken the guns off of me now for saying my saying. You've just isolated everybody down south. And Tony's being suspiciously quiet.
I talk too much.
So. Why is that?
Yeah.
You think it's because I made that comment earlier?
Yeah, what on Dan Pancaldi's show on No Enemies Here this morning?
Yeah.
No, I've been thinking about that.
Not
in a negative way. And figuring out why is it
actually answer a yes/no question within 5,000 words today for us?
I'm going to try right now. And yes, I do talk for more, but it's because of the way I teach.
Stop using your teaching as an excuse for you not being able to shut up.
Here is why. My students will put an answer down and I will say why. And they will need to explain it to me. So when they ask me a question, I give them an answer in full explanation. I am setting a standard, an example for them to be. Also, I just like to hear myself talk.
That was about 1,000 words, so that's not bad.
Oh, he's finished. Sorry. Right. Okay.
He goes on, doesn't he?
We love him. No, we love him. We
Oh my God! You can't get those two girls to shut up. I swear to God.
I'm
they're like two old ladies out to lunch. I mean, they're just blah, 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 the whole time.
I have been known to go on a bit as well, so hey, we love him. But I have got moaned at. So leave Tony alone. He's all right. Well, of course he's all right. This is our shtick. This is part of the routine, isn't it?
Yeah, we got to make fun of everyone.
Yeah.
Right? I stay quiet for a certain amount of time, and then I just let it all out. It's kind of like when you put your thumb on the hose and you stop it.
Tell me.
Then you.
I think what you're trying to tell me is that some people might get their feelings hurt. Is that what I'm hearing?
No.
No.
Well, Dex B asked a question. What was your war game flop of the year?
Rock of the Barn.
Sorry?
Rock of the Barn. I enjoyed the ending, but it took 14 turns.
Expectations in wargaming and how you're... and feelings. I want to talk about feelings too, because feelings are important. It seems that there are a lot of feelings being hurt.
Words of wisdom, Kev. Words of wisdom.
We wouldn't want anybody's feelings getting hurt. So.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Hex to Hex. It wasn't that bad. I wouldn't say it was. It would be low down on what I've played. It won't be in my top 5. Let's put it that way. It took too long to get going. But
Commander Napoleon felt absolutely short. It could be a very short game when you can't get out of the first box.
It's now known, that is now known as the Rommel syndrome.
It's the Rommel season. Let's talk about DVG.
Hold on.
I'm on my last leg with DVG.
Hold on. Just because Jez has put a comment about a game that I'm quite interested in, Barlev. You didn't like that, Jez, no?
Where? What?
He's put last turkey I played was Barlev. I'm thinking, I'd like to have a go at that. Quite expensive, yeah. Why was that, Jez?
Well, different taste for everyone, I guess.
Yeah, but it's great to get these opinions, isn't it? Because you can sort of take them all in and then make your own choice.
I love it, Hex. Love it.
No, you can't. No, Hex, it won everything. It's brilliant. Top war game of the century.
I don't know if they had U-boats back in Civil War times.
I think they may have had experimental ones.
Yes,
I think
they did.
Yes. They had them. Not U-boats, but submersibles. Yes.
Yep, the Confederates did have them.
Righto. Okay, thanks, Jezza. Yeah, it looks a big game.
6 hours to set up. It seems to be a divisional game morph into a battalion level game.
Right. Yeah, right.
Sure.
Okay.
Ruff, have you ordered anything this week coming in? Seen any specials, any deals?
I've got my Korean. I'm really pleased with that because that's another highly regarded game from that 80s era. So I've got the 6th Fleet.
Did you see we convinced Tony to get some Panzer Grenadier picked up?
Yeah, Panzer Grenadier. I've got a couple of those little expansions. I haven't got all the games to play them all. So if anybody's fed up with their Panzer Grenadier and wants to send them to me, that'd be great because they are expensive, and I'm on the lookout. And every so often one comes up, and you're lucky to get it. And the other thing I was after and looking at and was bidding on, but it went bonkers. And this is for Hethwell. Was the second volume in the Flying Colours. The
Serpent of the Seas?
Yes, one of them went up, and I thought, I'm going for this. It had, got the cards, got the dual map in it, and you can do the smaller battles. I stopped bidding for it after £70, and it was going on, and it was going on, and I thought, geez.
So my first question would be, why the hell were you bidding at it at £70?
Well, no, I stopped. I was bidding.
Good Lord, man!
I put my bid in, and it went bang, crash over 70 quid. So I didn't win it. I didn't put 70 quid in, and I thought, no, that's it. It went for bonkers money.
I think between the three of us, we could make a Panzer Grenadier resurgence in the wargaming community. I think we could do that.
Do you know what? It doesn't get a lot of love. And the problem with videoing, as I keep saying, is that the scenarios are like 30, 40, 50 turns. And you can't do videos. I did one, and I did one from Eastern Front. And I picked one of the very, very small ones. And I think that was about 12, 15 turns. So it took about 6 videos. But yeah, I love it. I do like it.
Here's what I'm going to say is when I do videos for it, I'm not going to do full playthroughs. I'm going to do the AAR videos. I did that with my ATS, 2 of my ATS games, and I got a lot of positive feedback on that. Yeah. So I think that's what I would do. I may, like, if it's something interesting or an interesting battle or something, like, hey, we're going to go into hand-to-hand combat. I might film that and throw that in there. It definitely takes a lot more editing to do it that way.
Yeah.
But my only problem is I started every segment with the same phrase. I always said, "So I'm on to turn this. So I'm on to turn." So
there's things I
there's
things I'm editing all the time, and I say I mustn't say them. So I cut into a new bit. I go, "So here we are." They think, "No, stop!" But you can't help it. You can't help it.
It was actually Mitch that pointed that out.
The video is to say, okay, starting turn 1 on the German side, this is my plan. Kind of say, okay, on the left flank, this is what I'm going to try to do, and these units here, they're gonna try and barrage these units and blah blah blah, and then stop it,
and then do it,
and then have like a recap, like a 30-second recap, and say, okay, after the turn ends, this is where we stand. These units were able to move up. These units broke. We ended up breaking this unit here. The artillery fire was null and void, or didn't do any damage, and now we switch over to the other side. You do that every turn, keeps people in the loop. It's not very hard, and it's not very long either.
And the other problem that I see from my point of view is I'm thinking, if I watched this and I didn't know what the rules were, unless I play it, it's great for people who play it and know the rules, which is why I tend to go through and do my bit on the rules as best as I can. So if people don't know about the game, they've got an idea whether or not it's for them. But yeah, what I could do is say, any rules, refer to my first video on Panzer Grenadier where I go through more of the rule things. Here's just going to be an AAR, after action report. We got told off for using too many what do they call them? Abbreviations, not abbreviations.
Acronyms.
Acronyms. Yes, thank you. Yes. So that's what I might do. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think Panzer Grenadier needs a bit of love. The company needs maybe needs.
A lot of games out there that I think are pretty deep.
And I did order one thing from them, and I'm still waiting for it.
And you will.
Well, our post is so slow freaking right now.
No, also they're just slow.
It's stuck in Alabama, which is where they're headquartered at. So they got to the Alabama post office, and it's stuck there. So, but everything's crazy right now. But I bought the Spearhead Division expansion since I already have Ellsbourne Ridge. So I bought that one, and I really like the because I've got Fire in a Step sitting right here.
Well, that's the remake, as I said in the comment, of Eastern Front, and it's got the Romanians in Eastern Front already. So
so this one, I need this one, and I need Broken Axis, but that's out of print, and
that's expensive.
The copy I saw was $180 shipping from Italy.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. I'm like, I'll wait for it to pop up again, but maybe they'll reprint it or something.
That's why the earlier ones are worth going after. Not so much the very, very, very first one, or the second one, which was turned into the Eastern Front. But say from the next one, I think, I can't remember the names of them now, but the early ones are the ones to go for. The maps, okay, some moan about the maps. But I picked up Africa Core for very reasonable, partly.
And now with your 2 tables, you can play and record. So you can play one game and then record something else. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
That's the dream, is to have what I'm videoing on one table. But when I get fed up with that or need a break, I can have another game, maybe the next one I'm going to video, or just something I want to play because I can't get around to playing it because I'm videoing something. Because at the moment, as you know, and I keep going on about it, I've got, say, Tokyo Express on here, but I had to wait until I finished Men of Iron before I could clear that away and put this one out. Whereas if I get this 6 before 2 tables up, I can play things like Sixth Fleet because the maps go up and down rather than left to right. I could have had Tokyo Express out and be playing and learning a bit of that while I'm videoing Men of Iron, So really looking forward to that. That would be great.
Well, I would say also, you talked about getting some of the earlier games, and for people have space problems, I would not go with some of the earlier games because the maps in Africa Core are the big maps. Well, I like how they switched over after that series. I think they did Africa Core, then they did
Desert Rats,
and they did the Normandy one, and they were all big map ones. After that, they went back to their usual sized ones that are geomorphic, and that's. I mean, most of them are 2 or 3 maps, or maybe 4, which are not even half the size of one of the big paper maps. So,
but to be fair, and I would say, for instance, Africa Core, there's plenty of one. I know it's still one map, but most people have got room for a 22 by 34 inch map. So, but yeah, the only problem with the earlier games, if you get them, some people don't like the maps. I see through the map. Especially like Eastern Front, people like it, you either love them or hate them. They're not. Some people say they're not the best maps, and I agree. But if you're playing a game, you can pick that up for $20. What are you laughing at, Tony? Somebody put up?
It says those desert maps look like a bad carpet.
They're not and they're not. When I do my video, you can see they all look.
What are you going to put on a desert map? Sand.
Yeah.
And a dirt road. That's about all you get in the desert.
I agree, Matty Dog. I agree.
And maybe a couple buildings here or there.
I was playing DAC 2 with Kev yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. And I'm like going, this map, this is probably one of the most boring maps. I love the game because it's OCS. I love the game. But that map is so freaking boring. There's 2 colors. It's tan or it's blue for the water, and that's pretty much it. I mean, there's some other terrain, but most of it's like wide open, and so yeah.
Well, that's deserts for you.
That's why I'm not a huge North Africa fan. I'll be honest with you. I'm really not. Really not.
I think I like North Africa as well because there's a lot of Brit sort of involvement.
So I had this question, and I'm going to put it out to you two. I gave it to Kev. He gave me an answer which I thought was correct. And what it is I was clipping counters for British for my ATS for the Scottish Corridors scenarios. And I was looking at their ratings, and everything I've heard was the British Army is really good. They fight really hard. They're very successful. They have pretty good leadership. Monty is like Patton, where he's either really good or really bad. Patton was the same way. He's either really good or really bad. But what was it that made the Brits not be able to take care of Germany without maybe some manufacturing help? What was it?
What, in the early part of the war?
Any part of the war.
Africa?
Any part. What made the reason? Why did the U.S. coming? What was that? What was the difference?
Material.
Well, if let's say we gave the Brits the material, like we did with the Lend-Lease program.
We've only just paid off the Lend-Lease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here, no,
and they gave us all their, okay, fair enough. It wasn't top shelf. It was a discount. It was in the discount basket, but
I think.
Well,
and we're grateful. I'm not.
I have a theory
prepared
behind it.
for.
I have a theory behind it, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. If it's not the material, let's take material out.
I'm saying they weren't prepared for war. They weren't. Their technology wasn't up to snuff. Their tanks weren't up to snuff. Their airplanes weren't up to snuff. They just weren't prepared.
In the early part, of the war,
they thought Hitler would come into power, and it would take him 5 to 6 to 8 years before he did what he did in 1 year. So, because of the political system in Britain, it takes them a long time to get anything authorized and approved, and just like the United States.
if we'd have said you're not going into Czechoslovakia, Hitler wouldn't have gone into Czechoslovakia, and that's it. End. But because we went over and said, "Are you sure that's all you're going to do, Mr. Hitler? You just want Czechoslovakia. Okay, in my hand, I have this piece of paper, peace in our time." And Hitler went, "They're too soft." And by the time he invaded Poland, he was well prepared and, well, I say invaded. And we were still using biplanes to. As torpedo, the swordfish was, we still had the swordfish on our battleships, on our aircraft carriers, to deal with, Axis ships and things. Yeah,
So here's that relates to exactly. It's different than what I was thinking, but it relates directly to what my first cause of the reason why Britain needed more help. And it came from, my thought was World War One. I thought of one reason, but Jester, you gave me a second one as well with the technology. Yep. First one was just the sheer loss of life that the Brits, there weren't enough young men because they were all killed off during World War One. You had whole towns where you had 6-year-old boys and 80-year-old men, and that was just about it.
Yeah.
So my thought was they just didn't have the manpower because of the massive loss of life.
Or the mentality. Remember, that was an attritional, and they go. The French were evidently the French frame of mind was, here we go again. They weren't too keen. That they'd seen terrible losses, during the First World War, and their attitudes was, well, here we go again, and our attitude was, let's get this over with, and it's a very not like the Germans were with the population behind them, let's do it. So yes, there's that, and there was a time when when the Atlantic War was going on, the so-called phony war, there was a time when we could have lost because we were so short of supplies with the wolf packs attacking all the convoys that it came very close, evidently. But remember, we're British.
So it was just a question.
I think
there are many. Let me sum this up. There are many reasons, not just this one, not just that one, of a wheel that together, thank goodness you guys joined in, and thank goodness that when Japan bombed, and not that, thank goodness, but when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, thank goodness that at the same time Germany declared war on America as well. Instead of keeping out and going, okay, guys, you've got that bit, I've got this bit, Hitler declared war on USA as well. That helped as well because the Germans had you and us.
And by no means am I trying to put blame or anything like that. It was just a question that was in my mind.
Oh, no.
What was the reason why? And some of it was France. I don't want to say rolling over, but they also didn't want to deal with a lot of it. They had a really good defense, just not with front of Belgium. So if they would have extended that,
it wasn't complete, So the Germans just went round the corner, just went round
again. Like that's the second time they did that.
Yes, and they did it the second time in the Bulge. He's not going to do that again. No, they did that in the First World War. They're not going to go through the Ardennes. Yes, he is. Oh, damn bugger. So, lots of reasons. And I think the Western powers could have done much more. Not that I'm a great expert in the political, or historical side of it. I'm not a world-renowned expert.
Yeah.
But the Western powers could have done a lot more to actually maybe stop the war in its tracks. There was a few places where they could have gone no, and Hitler was so frightened that he would, I think, maybe have stopped. That might have put the war off for 5 years or so, and everybody could get, it might have still happened anyway, but who knows? But it's a complex thing. And the way things work in Britain look weird maybe to people like yourselves, the way governments work and the way things work. It's so slow. It's just
have you seen our government? Have you seen our
government?
But we're not going to get into that, but yeah,
you know what we're saying. It's things.
Yeah,
I think
they creep.
I've always said that part of World War II and who wins and who loses, and you go back to just about every war ever, right? It all comes down to the hearts and minds of your people, right? So, been watching the World War II documentary on whatever the World War II historian or whatever it is. And literally, when Germany invaded France in World War II, they literally were 28 miles from Paris, and the people in Paris still didn't believe that they were in any danger or any trouble, and they were just hanging out at the coffee shops, reading the newspaper. There's videos of them reading the paper saying, Germany's invaded. Oh, well, our troops take care of it. It doesn't matter. It's no big thing, blah, blah, blah. So I think Germany was riled up by Hitler to get back what was lost from World War I. Everyone was behind that. That's why they started off really well. Then Hitler decided to invade Russia, which nobody in Germany cared about taking Russia except for Hitler and his staff. So they didn't have their hearts and minds into invading Russia. If Hitler wouldn't have invaded Russia, I think the war would have turned out completely different, because it's all based upon the hearts and minds. Stalingrad is a great example of that. Stalingrad for Russia was, if we don't stop them here, our country is gone. So you either live and die here, there's no going back.
Yeah, and Hethwell makes a great point. We always think it's the Brits and the Americans, but of course we had the Canadians, we had the rest of the Commonwealth, and we had
all 6 of the Canadians did really well.
The Poles were nutters, flying them Spitfires and Hurricanes. They were fighting. They had a grudge. They were bonkers. They were nutters.
Exactly. Why were the Polish? The Polish Air Force that got away when Germany invaded, there was only a couple squadrons that got away. Those Polish squadrons later in the war came back with a vengeance against Germany. Why? Because they had revenge, because it was based on their hearts and minds, and they had nothing. They could care less about their life at that point. They could care less about what had happened. They wanted revenge to get things set back right.
But then again, the British mentality, and I know I'm British and I'm very patriotic, and as we all should be, but the Poles came over and the guy went, they've got some Polish aircraft, they've got some pilots here, and the British went, yeah, and what do you want us to do with them? Well, they want to fly and shoot down the planes. Oh, I don't know about that. They're not British, are they? You know, there's that sort of mentality that if you watch documentaries and films and things, and even like A Bridge Too Far, where the Poles were supposed to parachute in and they go, well, I don't know when we can do you, or, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. But thank God we had all these other countries or the peoples of that country fighting with us. Otherwise, you know, we had Indians, Africans, you know.
Right. You know, we just talked about this, but in the beginning of the war, right, England, Britain, whatever you want to call it, was not prepared for it at all.
No.
Right? But this shows you when it comes down to the hearts and minds of people, right? They were able to get their Air Force, their Army, their Navy, everything revved up within 3 years' time, and ended up by the end of the war with the Spitfire having one of the best planes. And without the hearts and minds of their people realizing that if we don't do something, we are going to get invaded, just like Czechoslovakia, just like Poland, just like France. Do we want that? Yes or no? Then I'm going to work a 12-hour, 14-hour shift every day and not complain about it, because if I don't do it, we're going to be in big trouble.
The Blitz mentality, everybody talks about that, you know, with the Brits, the Blitz mentality. It's a little bit of a misnomer, but, you know, Hitler tried to bomb the civilians into submission. No, you're not going to do that to a Brit. You know, it's it just doesn't work. But yeah, you're quite right. You know, we're not going to have this upstart invade countries and try and invade us. But thank God the Battle of Britain went the way it did. Otherwise, Operation Seal Out could have been a reality. You know, so.
Have either of you listened to the podcast? Excuse me. Have either of you listened to the Hardcore History podcasts with Dan Carlin?
Not sure if I have or not.
Oh, they're really good. And I bet a lot of people have listened to it. I would do it. He's doing a Supernova in the East, which is all about the Pacific War. And they're usually about 4 to 6 hours, and he's on part 5. So we're looking like 20 hours in. He's going to have one more part. We're up to 43. Most of the Ostfront, so the East Front. And he made a comment, and he wasn't the only one. I've heard him say this, that as the Germans went through after Poland, but went through like Latvia, Ukraine, and all those countries that Russia had taken control of after World War I, that if they would have, like, those people were seen at that point, the Germans, as the liberators, until the Germans started, you know, mass executing them. And what could have been interesting if they would have realized that all those people all those countries would have joined in with Nazis, with the Germans moving forward into Russia, and to see where that would.
Yeah, Hitler didn't write that memo, though, did he?
No. But it was just interesting, because and the reason why I bring it up is in Japan, it was the same thing as well, because Japan wanted to create this Pan-Asianism, but Japan was like, but we're the top. The Japanese were the top. You know, then there was like the Chinese, which were way down, and then all the other Asian cultures, the cultures over in Asia. So they kind of fought against that. But if they would have kept, let's say, China as an equal, who knows what would have happened, you know, if they would have actually gone through with that. So it's just, these thoughts just keep going through my mind, like how different things could have been if certain things wouldn't have happened the way they did. And the one I always interested in is the fact that before Hitler really got into power, there was an assassination attempt at the beer hall where he started his first putsch. He was either late or early 5 minutes, and that was all the difference. Yeah. And it blew up, you know, with him not there. He was 5 minutes away. I mean, there's a lot of different ones too, but it's just interesting to look at history and see how things, really small decisions, and really when you think about it, small decisions could have made big, huge differences. But
then if he had been killed in that first one at the beer hall, who knows what we would have now? We would have had something better or worse. It does your brain in. But on the subject of trying to assassinate someone, if you survive it once, you think, oh, that was lucky. If you survive it twice, hello, 3 next time, you think somebody's looking after me. I am on the right path, and if you look at the assassination attempts and the way he survived them were just fluky, that but of course he's thinking now, I have a divine right to do this. I'm being saved, so, but who knows what we would have ended up.
Yeah, every king's excuse throughout the Middle Ages was the divine right. God put me here. So,
and the people
we wouldn't have a hobby. Who knows if World War II we wouldn't have a huge hobby that we have right now.
Who knows? It's a fascinating thing. If it had been got rid of in 1932, was it 3? I can't remember. Then would we be in Eden now, or would we be in hell? Because history would have taken a different turn, and who knows where we would have ended up.
Well, I just think it's just human nature. People react a certain way no matter who you are, right? If some dude breaks in your house to kill your family, you're going to do a hell of a lot, everything you can in your power to stop him, right? If you're going into your neighbor's house to kill him and he pulls out a shotgun, you're like, okay, I'm out of here. Goodbye. You have no will to do that, right? But if somebody's doing something to you or your house or your family, then you're going to make sure you do everything you can. And that's, that's why I posted a comment earlier that it explains why Germany was bombed to the ground, because Germany didn't want to give up their homeland. Right?
That's right. And everybody is the same. And again, we
first they expanded out and they did all this conquering, and then all of a sudden, now all of a sudden they're back on their home turf. And
just as viciously when it was kids and old men fighting and the remnants of the army, than they did as they did when they were taking over Western Europe. But we mustn't forget, say, the Russians. And again, silly thing to do, war on 2 fronts. Napoleon, he should have learned from Napoleon, that it's not a good thing to do. But the Russians, if it wasn't for the Russians, crikey, how many Russians died? Countless. So
I think it was 4 million, or is that 4 million civilians? I think.
Yeah,
I can't remember the number, but it's staggering.
But of course,
they just had a thing on the news the other day here in the United States that we passed 314,000 COVID deaths, and that was more than the total of U.S. deaths in World War II. They said that on the evening news. So the United States only had around 300,000 total deaths. And compare that to
really? That low, yeah.
It must be
not a low number.
I don't know the exact total.
The Russians, it's.
We compare that to the 14 million that Russia lost, or whatever it was, some crazy number.
Got a couple different numbers thrown up here. Yeah, the Chinese lost a ton. Yeah. Russian, we're talking millions, not hundreds of thousands, for sure.
Crazy. Yeah, 20 to 30 million in the war, including civilians, Matty Dog says. So that's stupid. It's crazy, isn't it?
Well, that's where Stalin came up with the most horrible phrase, a single death is a tragedy, millions of deaths is a statistic. It's like I can't even wrap around my head around the numbers of dead. Apparently, there's a battlefield in Russia from World War II that there are still bones that are still peeking up out of the ground because they didn't, bury them properly. They had lost so much, and you could just see them.
Yeah, there's so many you can't bury them all. Yeah. But on a different note, the American Civil War, that was a tremendous loss of life as well, wasn't it?
180,000 casualties.
In comparison to populations and things, it was a huge amount, wasn't it? To take out of that country.
Yeah, they always say Americans lost more we lost more Americans in the Civil War than the Revolutionary War, War of 1812, World War I, and World War II combined.
Crazy, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. Let's talk about the War of Roses and the other 16 wars that you all had.
We called it the War of the Roses. Technically, you say, but the one that we call the English Civil War was the one against Charles II, Cavaliers and Roundheads. Technically, I suppose it was more of a royalty war with people drummed in. The population drummed in against their will a lot of the time, because it was a house war against the two royal houses of Lancaster and York. Whereas the English Civil War, it was a belief, and you were one side or the other. So it was like the American Civil War, belief in your way of thinking that you were prepared to fight and die for. And yes, lots of people died in the English Civil War, but of course populations were much smaller then in the 17th century. So, but yeah, we go on about our love of war games, but I don't know, I don't know how you deal with that. Some people deal with it in different ways, that you're actually dealing with death on a piece of paper, on a piece of card. So the way I look at it is I'm just pushing pieces of cardboard about and throwing dice, and that count has gone, or that count has turned over and doesn't have such a good die roll next time. But yeah, there's that to think about, isn't there? When you do your Eastern Front massive campaigns, the millions of people that died, what do you do? It's not going to stop me loving war games, but it's something to think about.
Well, in a lot of what I thought about is like, so modeling actual war games is hard to do because we know the history most of the time. A lot of times I don't like to read before I actually play a battle if I don't know about it. Mm-hmm. So I always like to find off topics. Because I don't know about it. I don't know the actual result. I don't always like to read about it because sometimes it's like, okay, well, I know they did this and this was stupid to do, so I'm not going to do that. It's just interesting. So
yeah, it's like in the Men of Iron. You've got the Battle of Courtrai, which is the Flemish-French little battle, and the Flemish put up ditches, and the French cavalry or knights thought, they were very posh and looked down on all the low-level people, and they just rushed across these ditches, got stuck, and the pikemen just finished them off. So you think, right, how am I going to play this? I'm not going to rush across with the French there, because these pikemen waiting across the ditch are going to make mincemeat out of me. So I've got to think of another way. And there's been a couple of other sort of videos on it, and you're looking at different options. I like that. I don't like to play it as per history, because you know the outcome. Yeah, if you play it and the die rolls are right, you're going to get the historical thing. I want to try and get the French to win, because they were annihilated at that battle because of the way the Flemish had prepared the battleground. So you have to go around. Oh, we'll go around here. Look, there's a bit of a gap there. I haven't done a ditch there, so we'll go around there and see if that works. That's the thing that I like to do, rather than, I like to play them on instinct. And I'm not a great tactician, as you probably know, but I'll play it the way I think. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try it. It might not work. I'm going to go down the middle. I don't care. But that's what I love about war games. It's the myriad of different options you've got for a historical battle, rather than playing.
And so the reason why I kind of got that up is because of the Fire in the Steppe, and I'd recommend picking it up if you find it cheap.
Or Eastern Front. I know, because I've got it. The maps, the maps are nicer in Fire in the Steppe, but it's the same game, and you do get the Romanians in it. And there's
what's interesting is there's a solo mode.
Yes.
And basically it says there's no way you're going to win all the battles, but you play the whole campaign. So you play each of the 50 battles. And what you're trying to do is lose the initiative for the Germans. So you're trying to, and you keep adding it all up. And then at the end, once you've played it all, if you have between a certain number of initiative points that they've lost or battles that you have won, because there are some, you pause them so they can get stopped. So I really think that was just an interesting take on that.
Yeah,
so,
because oh, it's all gone blurry. Hold on. It's not coming. I've got all. Oh, I look good now. But the Eastern Front, if I can get it in blooming focus, there we are. Has 112 scenarios. Bonkers. And people moaning, the sort of people who don't like this, there's loads of them are unbalanced. But my way of thinking is the way that they've obviously thought, and you think that, yeah, there's no ways the Russians are going to win, but let's see how long I can delay them, because that's my job as the Russians, is to delay the Germans so other things can get sorted out behind me. And that's how I play this game. I'm never going to win as the Russians unless it's a scenario that's more balanced. But if it's unbalanced, I like to sort of test myself and see how long I can hold the Germans off before they push through or eliminate the units or whatever. So yeah, even though they say this is unbalanced, it's great to play because you can just see how long, if the dice gods are with you, how long you can hold them off. And to me, that's just as enjoyable. So being unbalanced is neither here nor there for me for a game. Like Agincourt, so unbalanced. I was throwing. It got so bad. That the English started apologising.
They were becoming Canadians.
Yeah, they were like, sorry, I've thrown a 9 again. Sorry, but yeah. But if I played that, when you play that again, you know the French haven't got much of a chance. But let's see if we can punch this hole. Let's see if we can push forward a bit. Yeah, that's what I love about balanced games.
This is another one of these games that you were rolling off screen and then going, "Oh, look, it rolled off the screen."
No. Because of people like you, I had to. Yeah, I had the tower on screen, and sometimes, roll the blooming dice. It would roll out and creep in the corner. So I had to bring it.
Look, it rolled off. It's another 9. Look at that.
No, I do it as fair as I can. If people think I cheat,
you cheat for the British. I already proved that.
You thought I cheated playing the
you played the American Civil or the Revolutionary War game against the United States.
You thought
they were kicking the British butt, and then all of a sudden you started rolling off screen, and the British were like, "Oh, look, he rallied!
He
rallied!"
I had the dice tower there. Oh, what's his name got captured? It was that's another great game.
And then he's like, well, I'm going to maneuver for the United States here. Let me see what I would do. Well, I would probably bring this guy not towards the victory point location, but he's going to try and circle around behind for some strange reason.
But as I always say, you will play this game differently. I'm playing and having fun and showing you what's what. And you may think, oh, I'd never have done that. True, because you're not playing the game. You'll play it differently. I say this in every video, and it's because of you. And I say this, and I say you will play this differently.
Have you played anything the British lost except for RAF?
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
Wow! Oh man,
we now all speak German, But that's the point, isn't it? Some of you win, some of you lose. But cheating, what's the point of that? Otherwise, you'd end up like.
I don't think you were trying to cheat. I think you were trying to use some weird ancient strategy for the U.S. there.
Ancient and not very well known strategy.
We know they lost this battle, so I'm going to try something different, and they're going to try to circle around, even though they got the British surrounded, and every one of them are broken. We're just going to try and surround them instead of go for the victory points.
I don't know what you're talking about. Tony, help? I don't know what he's going on about here. But
I'm just reading the comments because Mad Dog 67 is right. You do realize the royal family is German.
Of course we know the royal family's German. They were the Hanoverians. And that's why they changed their name during World War II.
Yeah.
Because Hanoverian sounds a bit German, doesn't it? And you're fighting the Germans, so they picked a name that was very English and British, and they changed their name to Windsor. It's not their real name. They are now known as Windsors, but they changed it because we sound a bit German. So Windsor it was.
When did they come? They came over before Germany was really a country, right? They came over.
Yeah.
They were more like states, city states.
Sort of, 18th century. They came over only because royalty.
How do you forget your own history? Oh my God!
I don't know.
You have several thousand years of it.
Fourth grade again, or what? Jeez.
Well, we've got a bit more than 200 or 300 years, haven't we? But the problem was it was all intermingled with marriages and things, and when they worked back the line of succession, the next guy was a German, and they brought him over for a few reasons, because they didn't want somebody else. But so that's how we got German royalty.
Well, if you look at it, and I do this for the students, and I love doing this, that if you look at a family tree of the leaders during World War I, they're all first cousins.
Yeah. Look at the guy from the Tsar of Russia.
Yeah,
he's a spit of George, our king, at the time, because they're related. They are a spit of each other. So there we go.
Now, George was mental, but
George the third,
Yeah, he was mental, but hey.
No, that was the first one in the 18th century.
Oh, that was okay, gotcha.
Great film. If you watch it, there's a great film, The Madness of King George. Fantastic film. And it's got a chap, I can't remember his name, but he was in, it's been lots of things, but he was in the Yes Prime Minister and Yes Minister series over here. If you're British, you'll know what I'm talking about. He was the permanent secretary, giving advice to the then minister and then the prime minister. It's a classic comedy series over here. But the guy who played that chap played King George in The Madness of King George. Fantastic film. He had a disease.
I agree
with
John put a comment. I agree with you. I'm just giving rough little jab.
I know. I know you both are. You do it every week.
No, that's because I know enough of your history to throw it at you.
I know, but that's fun, isn't it? And I know.
I always find, I don't know why, but I always find English history so fascinating. I'm always, anytime something comes up, I learn something new, or I don't know, but there's really fun to learn the British history. And
well, there's lots of it for a start, but there's a lot of it in most of Europe as well. They go back, thousands of years, the civilizations there. So well, we there's something in it. Well, we can't, no. But, it's the interbreeding as well, doesn't it? Which is why the royal family have haemophilia in the line, because of the interbreeding.
Now, it's not as bad as the Habsburgs.
No, they were like, here's my aunt, my sister, and great aunt. Thank you. Yeah, it's all, give me 6. And they were very inbred. But there we go. Lots of history, and I'm just waffling on now because everybody else has gone quiet. So I'm going to take a drink. Cheers, everyone.
I'm just reading because the comments are absolutely. I didn't mean to even start going down. They're hilarious.
So they will take the P out of England.
Wow, I tell you, look at that discussion has gone things crazy.
Yeah, but isn't that great that we talk rubbish and they have their own conversation on the spin-off on it. It's great.
I don't know. Every time I watch Kev's live streams, it's that way. It's like I'm usually have a conversation with somebody else.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch his interview with David Thompson?
I watched some of it. Yeah.
I watched some of it, but again, I didn't watch it live because it was like 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever it is. You haven't got proper time like we have over here. Yours is well out of kilter.
It's hard to see, but I'm rolling my eyes at you right now.
I know. Yeah.
He seems like a guy like you could just go out have a beer with. He seems like just a guy to hang out. Love to ask him questions. Yeah.
He looks too nice. He's so nice. The guy is, and his kids. We saw his kids on the Game of the Week, and you think perfect.
Yeah.
What's he doing with these backstabbing guys in the wargaming community? I don't know. You know, he seems a lovely guy. Talking about my game of the week, didn't you do one?
I
Tony?
did, yes.
He hasn't
hasn't played it yet.
He hasn't used it yet. You told us months ago you recorded that.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't used it yet.
He probably went to everybody and said, "Do this," and then and then one time he did it. He did the same one for 2 weeks in a row. So
I don't recall getting this memo.
No, you didn't get an info. I haven't got one either, so don't worry about
you got to play war games, Jester.
Excuse me, that was a bit loud. Sorry, but well said, sir.
Only war game, huh?
I talk too much, I guess.
The game of the week has to be a war game. Well,
no, it does not.
David's game was a kid's sort of racing game, wasn't it?
That was fun. That looked like fun. I might have to get that for my kids.
Yeah.
I'm making mine U-Boot. That's my game of the week.
You can't get a copy of it nowadays. It was a game of the year. Haven't you heard? Get War Game of the Year. You can't get a copy for love nor money now.
Well, that's true.
You're going to have to print your own like I am with Carol.
I'll have to come up with something else. I'll have to come up with another game.
Might as well do your ENZ because that's actually looks fun. Like I like it. I enjoy watching you play that because it's
Have you watched Wardrobe? He's doing a series of miniatures.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to.
All your little minis out. Hex to hex. This is a tank, by the way, just so you know. You know your little minis.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to get to watch that because I don't want to start another.
That's exactly what I said. I think I posted a comment and was like, dude, the last thing I need is another hobby.
I doubt.
I literally got 5 boxes of packages all in the same day. I'm like, I can't get another hobby because that would just not be good.
I love watching them though. That's fun. But yeah, there's no way.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I'd have to buy them painted, and I know that's like a fortune because I don't have those skills.
So hold on, sorry, going back. Steeler fans made a comment here. It says, "So Britain is like the Alabama of Europe." What's that mean then? What's going on? We all go around with banjos or something.
Inbred.
I know what he's saying, and he's quite right. We've got everything. We've got Roman. We've got the Scots. We've got the Welsh. We've got the English, the Irish.
Everyone they were conquered by, they're a little bit of
Spanish.
German.
No, we've only been conquered. We've only been conquered. Twice? Is it? Once by the Vikings and once by the Saxons drifted over, didn't they? But and once by the Normans, which again were the Vikings.
Just the later age of Vikings.
Yes, yeah, Normans, Norsemen, yeah, Northern men, yeah.
We sure
to play a 1066 game,
miniature gaming, so we could go right back to what we were just talking about.
Sorry, just wondered what Alabama of meant. That was all. But, now I know, and you're quite right. There's everything in the British Isles: Saxons, Anglos, Celts.
Okay, we're done talking about Britain.
Yeah.
Move on.
No, we can't.
Move on. We want to talk something more important.
But I do like what he's doing for the miniatures. I like going back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Wardrobe
introducing a subject that you guys would talk about for more than 2 seconds. That's a good idea. Go ahead, Tony. The floor is yours.
I like what he's doing because he's actually kind of introducing, of course, he's introducing a topic that maybe, who knows. I get crazy recommendations on my YouTube. Who knows what's going to come across, especially if somebody's looking up history. I know a lot of students watch videos on history, although some of them aren't so accurate. So, because they said, well, didn't so-and-so do this? I'm like, no. Why are you asking? Like, anyways. So who knows if they're looking up history stuff on YouTube, they may come across this and it might be like, they may like, hey, this is interesting. Personally, I don't have the talent or the skills. And I would have to paint them and I wouldn't want to paint them. And yeah, I would do. Now there is one miniature set I would do. I would do naval miniatures in a heartbeat. because you could get those top-down minis. I think we talked about that last week.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would venture into, I think. Yeah.
Well, that was another 5,000 words. Good job, Tony.
I'm very verbose.
Very verbose. Has any of your students ever said, "Hey, I know you're a war gamer, and I'm looking to get some games or get into something"? Has anyone ever talked to you about that?
I've done it the other way. I've introduced several.
That was a yes or no question, but go ahead.
No.
No one has asked you. I can't believe that.
No. But you won't let me finish because it's a yes or no question. Because I've introduced several kids to Battle for Moscow, and they've asked to play it several times after I introduced it to them. And they would flip sides. So they would play one, they'd each play the Russians or the Germans, and then they would flip and play it to see if they could do that. And I always find that interesting and more fun is when you can play a scenario and then flip when you're playing face to face or with somebody, flip and then do that. So
yeah, so it's like on the other side. Yeah. Gone quiet again. What's the matter?
The discussion of Brittany's history is related to ID Jester's play of Warrior of God. How about that?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Miniatures are great fun and can really. I actually was talking with a buddy of mine today, and we were texting back and forth, and he got into miniatures. That's why I was asking you guys. And he sent me some pictures of stuff that he's done, and it looked awesome. And I'm like, wow, that is really, really cool. But I'm kind of like Tony, man. I'd have to paint it, and then it'd look like crap, and then I'd be like, throw it in the trash can because I didn't like how it looked.
But even if you just painted them, that's another load of time, and you've got to read the rules. I used to love painting miniatures, as I said. I think I said before, not military miniatures. Now what we got?
The other fan.
Oh God,
He's just an instigator. That's all he is. He's just a goddamn instigator. That's all.
But what I was saying was that I used to paint miniatures for fantasy things. I used to love it, but it takes a heck of a long time if you want to do a proper job. Put the base coat on. I used to spray them all with a base color, and then you paint them, and then you have to use inks to get the thing. Then you dry brush, and it takes ages. But I used to love it when I was into it. Yeah, that's right. Agree. Yeah, but that's what I used to like doing.
Well, let's see.
I don't think I've got the time to do it.
What else in War Game do you do more than actually freaking playing the game?
Oh, here we go. He's segued that very nicely, isn't he? Very nicely. Yeah. Clipping. I was clipping 6th Fleet, and that took an absolute age because it's an unpunched copy, and they've got the center nibbly knob bits on them. So if you just punch them out, you've got these big hairy nibs sticking out all the 4 corners. So to stop that, I have to use a Stanley knife, cut round the blocks of counters, and then you punch that, and you cut each counter separately, so you get down off the nibs. You don't get so many center nibs, and then you clip them.
Oh, so they're on the sides. They're on the sides. They're not on the corners.
Top and bottom and the sides.
Oh, I hate those.
Top and bottom. Some still have that. Lock and Load have it, but the nibs aren't that big. But on the older games, so I have to actually cut them out and then cut
each. Get a rotary cutter.
No, it's fine with the you have to still rotor it, don't you? I just go, but you have to do it. And of course, the corners aren't cut very well. There's a big gap.
That's human error.
Yeah, that's just how technology was in the 1980s. So you have to cut round that. So it does take an age, but I haven't got a lot of century nib things that you see a lot of in those games from the 80s. And then clip them with my new metal clipper.
We're going to have the big 1980s bonfire live stream one day. where we just get all these old shitty games from 1980.
They're not shitty.
We
That's the problem. They're not
have a
shitty.
big bonfire and celebrate the destruction of everything that was 1980s.
As a decade, I can't stand it. The music, the fashion. It was
The music was the best.
no.
Music was the
I'm
best.
with you there, on Jester. I'm with you on that one. 80s
Yeah,
music.
but then that's fine. Then I was into different stuff. But you're saying that's shitty.
Do you have to clip it?
You have to clip all games.
No, you don't have to clip all games.
No, I mean war games.
You don't have to clip all war games. Look at you.
Most
You don't
games.
have to clip that.
Most games.
And that was game of the year. The unanimous decision by all war gamers out there.
But you have to spend 2 days putting the U-boat together that falls to bits after a week.
You don't have to clip counters, though.
No, but you have to clip the stuff out to build the U-boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
But at the end, you have a beautiful 3D model of a U-boat that you can proudly display. What do you have after 6 days of clipping counters?
Classic game.
Corners.
You got a baggie full of cardboard. That's what you
No,
got.
actually, I've got a counter tray because the old games came with counter trays.
Yeah, exactly. Longshore says, how can you just you two in Tears for Fears?
Mediocre rock band. Mediocre Irish rock band, in my opinion. And I'm just saying that to wind up U2 fans.
Don't go there. It's because they're Irish, isn't it?
It's nothing to do with them being a bloody Irish.
So next week is Christmas on Friday.
Yes.
So we're probably going to have our Saturday
That's
show.
Boxing Day.
It's going to be probably a longer show because this way we can show all of our new toys we got for Christmas.
Don't think I'll get anything like that for Christmas, apart from the thing that might help me.
We won't invite you next week. We'll get somebody else that's more interesting.
I don't know if Ruff's drunk. It could be interesting.
Boxing Day traditional, you see. Where's this guest? You said you might have a surprise guest. Have we scared them away again, Tony?
Probably.
Hmm.
I'm honestly surprised my kids haven't started bothering me about them yet.
someone more interesting than Ruff next week to take Ruff's spot. Are you ready for this?
Wow.
Meet Tim. Tim will be hosting next week instead of Ruff.
It's a nice name. Like the name. Yeah. Yeah, very nice. Good luck. Good luck, Tim. Yeah.
Tim will probably get more gifts than you.
You probably get more likes as well.
I've only got one thing that I'll probably be showing off that I know of so far.
I got at least 2 that I know of. I got at least 2 things.
If we can do it. I don't play it, but I know it's good. I think you'll like it.
What is he playing?
Heroes of the Motherland. He's thinking about buying it while it's on sale.
Yeah, our special guest decided not to show up.
You mean that one? Yeah, come on, get it out, Jester, quick. Ooh,
No, means this one. Jeez. This one.
well done, Tim. Did that hurt?
No.
Oh, that's a shame. Right.
I did see you've got I saw you have what is it, Warriors of God on the floor behind you still?
That was done very professionally, wasn't it? That move, that skate across the
Like
floor.
that?
Very nice. Yes, well done.
I'm hoping to get it done this week. Probably only one more episode. We're on page like 10. There's only a couple more pages of the rule book, so and then maybe get a playthrough.
Are you going to actually like do a playthrough? Oh, sorry, you probably just said that. I missed that. At least a smaller scenario or something.
I'm planning on hopefully doing a playthrough. Yes,
because I'm interested. Because that's a fun period to learn about. It's
a lot of people already play this game and know about the game, but I guess there's still a lot of people because a lot of people keep viewing even though I've had a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, I've played that. Oh yeah, I've played that. Oh yeah, I played that," but not everyone, I guess. Have you guys ever played it?
No,
but it's on my short list. But I'm trying to get to like area control. That's my key thing. I mean,
it's pretty in depth for as simple the rules. I mean, you got a lot of strategy or thinking about what you're going to be doing with your units. Because once you get them in battle, it's brutal. It's brutal to leave battle. So, I think striking when the iron's hot, when you think you got the advantage is going to be key, because if you let your opponent build up, then it just turns into a big war of attrition, right? So I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting. Anyways.
Yeah, I'm going to try to throw a lot of games on the table this next 2 weeks. I'm going to try to stay away from the TV as much as possible, and really start playing some of these games I have. I've got some Kickstarters coming in. I just got the Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. I'm kind of curious about that.
Is that a war game?
Are there tanks in it?
No. There's let's see here. There's
that might be something up Hex to Hex.
It's got Dino Meeples. Got some Parasaurs. Got some Stegosauruses, which, by the way, is my favorite dinosaur, the Stegosaurus.
Chatting about that in the chat there. Yeah, I have it. But as Maddy Dog says, play a few without it before you play with solo. Get to know it.
Yeah, David even said to learn the rules first before you use it when he was on our show, which we appreciate him coming on.
Yeah.
What are we stopping, Hex?
Which is basically the same thing.
Now, is that which one had the designer that really screwed the video up, screwed the pooch on the video? Which game was that?
Which video? What?
When a game designer made a video.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't this one.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know who did this one, but it wasn't this guy. It was somebody else. We'll get to it eventually.
You've got a rant. Have you not? About a certain company?
I don't have a rant. I'm going to say this again. I'm really getting pissed off at DVG, right? September, October, November, December. We've gone 3.5, almost 4 months already, and they haven't made up their mind what the hell they're doing, right? We just had GMT produce a game. Right? Just produced this game. Brand new game. Just came out. P500. What'd they do? You guys know what they did wrong?
I didn't heard anything.
No, well,
they printed all of the maps on paper.
Oh, yes.
So they've already decided 1 link later that they were going to reprint all the maps and send them to everyone that had ordered them on the P500 for free. Within a week, they stopped selling this game because they don't want to, sell it as is until they get the new maps. So they posted something on their website, and they posted something on the actual Last 100 Yard Facebook group as well, saying, hey, guys, just so you know, if you purchased this game, if you pre-ordered it on the P500, the maps were printed on paper accidentally. So we are going to be printing them on the proper cardstock mounted maps, and then we're going to send them to you guys for free as soon as we can. So we've got 4 months, 3 to 4 months already for DVG to get their ass in gear and figure out what the frick they're doing about their what's it called Kickstarter, that they fricked all up with every other card having a different colored background. And the last I heard, which was several weeks ago, when I emailed them again 3 months later, they're like, well, this is still in the works. We're trying to make sure we track down all the problems before we decide what we're going to do about it. So I got a bunch of DVG games that are about ready to be sold because I am not going to be supporting a company like that. If they can't get their head out of their ass, then they don't deserve any more of my customers' money. They don't deserve anybody's money until they can prove that they are worthy of getting money. And right now they're not, because they can't freaking decide. All they had to do was post something and say, we realize there's a problem. We're looking into this. And a couple weeks later, come up with a decision on what the hell they need to do to fix the goddamn problem. They've done neither one of these things. And so I've had it to about here with DVG. It's not like they haven't had a chance to do it, because they've had plenty of chances, because they've run another Kickstarter program already for their brand new fantasy game. That, you know, hey, we got this new game. They created all the videos for it. They created the Kickstarter, the promos, and all that. They had time to create all this shit, but they didn't have time. They didn't have time to create a post on, look at what happened to our last Kickstarter we had that fucked it all up. Here's what we're going to do to fix that one. They didn't have time to do that in 3 months, but they had time to run another Kickstarter. And that's what pisses me off.
Oh, it was the Mad Dog. It was the expansions for Tiger Leader, the German one, or the American Sherman Leader, and the other one.
So here's what we're talking about. I had ordered, or I had kickstarted all of the DVG games from their Thunderbolt Leader, Tiger Leader, and Nimitz, Field Commander Nimitz, and all the expansions. When the cards came in, all the expansions have different background colors on them. As you can see, here's the original card, here's the background card. Look at this. Look at how many different colored cards you get with this. It's like a rainbow of variety on what color your expansions are going to be. So the originals are gray. One expansion was green. The other one was like a yellow green. And the third one was a brown. They didn't even print all the expansions the same goddamn color. And it goes on and on and on.
Can I just say, you've already let one F-bomb go. Can you just give me a warning so I can get me bleeper up, sort of thing?
You got to get your bleeper ready.
Yeah, I've got to get me bleeper. Yeah, just that. Yeah, that's good to go. Good to go. Yeah, we're good to go.
I'm kind of curious.
Can someone tell me that those two cards are the same color? Can someone tell me that? I mean, are they even similar in any section?
No. The pictures are off. I'll be interesting because I have the other expansions for the Leader series. The Bomber Leader, those ones are I kickstarted and I heard they're getting mailed soon. So I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen when I get those.
Well, the expansion. The extra scenarios and things,
yes,
for Leader that. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the issue I run into.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
GMT has decided within 1 week of releasing their product, hey guys, we messed up. Sorry about it. We're going to fix it, and here's what we're going to do to fix it. I don't even care. Personally, I didn't even care if I got the paper maps, right? If they would have emailed me and say, hey, or post, if you want the printed maps, we're sorry about it. Here's a $5 off coupon or $10 off. Or if you want the mounted maps, it's going to cost you just shipping or whatever. I'd have been fine with any of that. But they decided they were going to solve it themselves. They were going to take care of it, and they were going to fix it to make their customers happy. It's been 3 months. DVG's had plenty of freaking time to decide what they're doing about it. But they haven't done jack because not enough people like myself are raising Cain about this. It's just when you have customers, you have to take care of your customers. If we talked with David Heath about this issue when he was on about printing and all the issues they have in printing in China. If you know you're having problems printing your shit in China, did you get your?
Oh no! You've got to let me know so I can do it.
If you know you're printing your shit in China,
carry on.
Give you a chance because I gave you the same word. Here we go.
Yeah,
Ready? You go ahead and print your.
Hold on. In China.
Okay, in China.
Yeah.
Right? Then you should know that they might not come back correctly, and it's going to cost you because you're going to have to get them reprinted, or you're going to have to get them reshipped. You're not going to make your customers very happy with all the delays and everything else. Otherwise, you know what else you could do? You could find some goddamn pretty good easy printers out there, right? If everyone else, GMT, if every other company out there can find printers and make it so that the backs of their cards all look the same, then goddamn it, DVG can do it. And if DVG is too cheap because they're sending their shit over to China and they're not double checking it, that's on them. And it's a bunch of crap that has taken them 3 months. And I will be calling them Monday morning, and I'm going to give them a little piece of my mind.
Just in case.
Yep, just in case. And find out what the hell's going on. Because next week, I'll be sure to let them know that we're going to have a whole broadcast about the shitty company.
I've given up. Yeah, you've gone. I can't keep up.
It's to the point where they just trying to, what I feel like is they're just trying to sweep it under the rug because they haven't emailed me one time about this problem. I've had to email them. They sent me a reply. I had to email them. They sent me a reply. I had to email them a third time. They sent me a reply. They have not once, not one time sent me an email saying, here's an update on what's going on with your order. It's been almost 4 months since the Kickstarter. They ran a new Kickstarter with new videos, new web page setup, new programs, new graphics. They had time to do all this shit. They didn't have time to figure out how to fix their last goddamn problem. Am I saying I'm unhappy? I am unhappy. I am very unhappy. And I will make it my number one job in wargaming to prove to everyone DVG is a piece of shit until they can get their act together. And if you don't think I can do that, ask my sports game community about Stratomatic.
You don't like them either, do you?
No, I don't. And everyone that I know in the sports game community that knew me made sure that they were aware of how I felt about Stratomatic. And I had convinced many of them to not waste their time, money, or effort on them. And I will do the same thing with DVG. I don't care if they're a small company. That's a bullshit excuse. It only takes one call, one person to make a fucking decision. I don't care if you got 4 guys in the shop. If you got 4 guys in the shop, one of them needs to make a decision. Nobody can make a decision on what the hell they're doing over there. A small company, I don't care. That's a bullshit excuse. They're not supporting their customers at all. Ha ha.
Well, it's about dinner time.
It is about dinner time. I'll be getting the call here shortly, so we got to go here in a minute. But thanks for letting me get that off my chest. I can't wait till next week because, like I said, Monday morning, I'll be calling them and I'll be giving everyone an update next week on what they decided because somebody at DVG and myself are going to have a little conversation. And then it's probably going to start off pretty nice, but by the end of it, it's probably not going to be very nice. So we're going to see. But everyone, we wish everyone a merry and happy holidays, right? Hey, right?
Yeah, 'tis the season to be jolly.
Or wait a minute. Let me get all those, over the pond. Happy Christmas.
Yeah, we say Happy Christmas over here.
Happy Box Day or whatever the hell it is.
Sake.
We get to tell them Happy Boxing Day on Boxing Day, so we can hold off on
it's
that.
Happy Boxing Day on Boxing Day. Join us on
Happy
Boxing Day.
It's just Boxing Day. So yeah, everybody have a great Christmas. If that's your thing. If not, enjoy the days off work.
Next week we're going to have our top 5 games played for the year. We're going to have an update on the DVG situation. We're also going to have a showing of all the goodies we got for the holidays. So you don't want to miss that episode. And don't worry, I'll be sure to have something for Dan next week so you can all get ready for it. I hope everyone has a great, wonderful holiday.
Well, the dinosaurs are resurrecting. No, sorry.
You go play with your dinosaurs.
Hey, my son loves dinosaurs. We're going to have fun with this.
Go play with your dinosaurs. Still not a war game.
I actually bought dinosaur table battles too.
You should get them.
One.
What's that one game? The giant monsters. You fight with the giant monsters. What's that game?
King of Tokyo?
Yeah, King of Tokyo. Get them that series. Get them
that'd be fun. Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Kids love that. That's a really good one. Buy them that for Christmas.
Yeah. Sounds good. Well, everybody have a good one.
Bye, everyone. Have a happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
And don't buy anything from DVG.